Greetings, math fans. All right, basically, I want to do a little bit of a review. And basically, the review is the difference between finding the sine of an angle and finding the ratio. Okay, and I know I've taught this already, and I think sometimes kids just have a little bit of difficulty recognizing the difference between the two and coming up with answers. So let's just talk about it. All right. So I'm just going to do a bunch of just random problems here. And so if I said like sine of 30 degrees, I mean, again, you should know that this is like a really basic one. Sine of 30 is 1/2, right? And I can do anything. I can say, let's just stick with some basic ones. So cosine of 150, okay, you're going to say, oh, the reference angle is 30 degrees, okay? And cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2, and you're going to say all students take calculus, so we're over here, and cosine is negative, and so that's your answer. Okay, those are pretty easy. Now, the ones that confuse people a little bit is when I give you guys like secant of 150. All right, and secant of 150, remember what you're going to do is you're kind of doing the same thing as you did with cosine. You're just saying the cosine of 150, which we just did, is root 3 over 2, but it's a reciprocal of that. So it means it's 2 over root 3, and if I rationalize it, you get 2 root 3 over 3. And then you do the same thing with a sign. Well, it's negative, and so your answer then is negative 2 root 3 over 3. Okay? It's pretty easy. And you can do that with all the different trig functions. Let's just do one more. Cotangent of, let's just do 210 degrees. All right, what I would do is I would say, well, what's the tangent of 210? And well, I'd say, well, reference angle is 30 degrees. So tangent of 30, it's a three-party, so it's root 3 over 3. So if I flip that, you guys should know if you flip root 3 over 3, you just get root 3. So this is just root 3. And then you're going to say, well, 210, where's 210? Well, I'm over here. And tangent, of course, and cotangent are both positive. So that is my answer to that problem. It's just root 3. Okay? Very basic. Let's talk about now, given the ratio. So if I said sine of theta is equal to root 2 over 2. Okay? And most of the time I'm going to tell you it's between 0 and 2 pi. Okay? And remember what you're going to do. You're going to say, oh, I need a reference angle first. And you're going to say, hey, the sine of what is root 2 over 2? Oh, it's 45 degrees. All right, cool. And then you're going to say, well, where's root 2 over 2? Where's a positive for sine? You're going to say here and here. That means your answer is going to be 45 degrees. And 180 minus 45 are 135 degrees. Okay? So that's pretty straightforward. And let's do one now with, let's do secant of theta is equal to negative 1/2. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to say, well, oh wait, sorry, secant of theta is equal to, I need to put that back, let's do negative 2. That's what I want, okay? So if I said secant of theta is equal to negative 2, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to rewrite it. Okay, I cannot stress that enough, guys. When you're given a problem like this where I'm looking for the angle and I give you a reciprocal function like secant or cosecant or cotangent, you've got to rewrite the problem first. I can't stress it enough. You got to rewrite the problem. Now, when I gave you secant of 30 degrees, there's no rewriting it. You just kind of do it, right? You just say, oh, that's cosine of 30, figured out, whatever. This one you've got to rewrite it as cosine of theta, and then you take the reciprocal. Then you have a new problem. Then we don't even worry about this problem anymore. Okay, it's just cosine of theta is equal to negative 1/2, and then I do the problem. So then you say, oh wait, cosine of what is 1/2? And you say, okay, well my reference angle, it's 60 degrees, right? And then you go, where's cosine negative? Well, cosine is negative here and here. So that means it's 180 minus 60 is 120. And 180 plus 60 is 240. And those are your two answers. Okay? So you got to know that. It's just really easy. You just got to rewrite it, though. I cannot stress that enough. So let's do one more. Let's do cotangent of theta is equal to, let's say just root 3 over 3. Let's do negative root 3 over 3. Okay, very first thing you do, because again, I don't know anything about cotangent. I just have limited brain capacity. And I'm going to rewrite this as tangent of theta, and if I flip that, I just get negative root 3. All right, and there's no 3-party here. Very sad. So it's 60 degrees. That's your reference angle. And where's tangent? Negative. Tangent is negative in this quadrant and this quadrant. So quadrant 2 and 4. So you're going to say 180 minus 60 is 120 degrees. And 360 minus 60 is 300 degrees. And those are your two answers. Okay? Really, really, really easy. Now what I want to do is I want to do some problems where you are using your calculator, because that seems to kind of throw kids off sometimes with that. So let's do a few of those. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here, let's just pull up our calculator and basically make sure you're in degree mode. Okay, so if I hit mode, and you can see I'm in highlighted there is degree. If it's not, go and highlight it and change it to degree mode. Really, really important. All right, so let's do a couple problems here using that. So if I say sine of 26 degrees 15 minutes. We'll do one with minutes, and then I'll just to make it simple, I'm just going to use normal degrees, okay? But sine of 2615, you literally type that in your calculator, okay? Your little brother could do this because it is so easy. Sine, let me move this over, sine of 2615. So sine of 26 second apps degrees 15 minutes. So it's number 2. Remember, if you want to use seconds, you hit alpha plus. That gives you the second symbol. Okay, and you hit enter. And I might ask you to round to the nearest thousandth. And again, I showed you guys how to round, but be careful. Nearest thousandth is 3 places because 1,000 has 3 zeros. So it's going to be 0.442. You okay with that? So 0.442. Okay? Those are so easy. Sine, cosine, and tangent. Now, this is where it gets a little challenging. It's not even that challenging. You just need to know how to do it. If I said secant of 47 degrees. All right? How do you do that problem? This is really horrible to do this. I don't want you to do this. People do this. They do, well, secant goes with cosine. They do cosine of 1 over 47. That is like horrible. In fact, I just want to show you what that's going to give you. I mean, you can almost see that it's wrong. Because watch. Cosine of 1 over 47. Watch what's going to happen. It's going to give you kind of a weird number. 0.9999. I mean, you should almost look at it and go, geez, I've never got anything like that. Well, what it's doing here is it's actually saying the cosine of something almost 0. What's cosine of 0? 1. So that's totally wrong to do it that way. It's not this. Put an x through this, and it's 1 over the cosine of 47 degrees. Okay? Because it's the reciprocal of it. It's just like when I taught you guys to do the cosine, or the if I said do the secant of 30 degrees, which is a number that we know, you did the reciprocal of that. So what you did is you found the cosine of 30, which is root 3 over 2, and what'd you do with that? You flipped it. Okay? So you need to flip it. You do 1 over, not 1 over that, but 1 over cosine of 30. So that's why this is secant of 47 is 1 over cosine of 47. So you're in your calculator, you're going to type in 1 divided by cosine of 47. Hit enter. And you get 1.466. And that's your answer. 1.466. Okay? I don't know what else I can show you except that kind of problem. I mean, let's just do one other quick one here. If I said, the cotangent of 86 degrees. It's 1 over the tangent of 86. So easy. Okay, so in my calculator, let's just do it. 1 divided by the tangent of 86 degrees. And it's always a good habit to close parentheses too. And there you go. 0.070. Right? So 0.070. So it's really, really pretty easy. Not bad at all. Okay? So let's look for an angle now, because I think that's always an issue. So if I had sine of theta is equal to 0.732. All right, so that's again pretty easy, and I'm going to tell you it's between 0 and 360, and that means you're going to do inverse sine because you're going to find the reference angle, inverse sine of 0.732. And so my reference angle comes out to be, let's do that, inverse sine, so second sine of 0.732. So I get 40, let's just round to the nearest degree, and that's fine, because these are degrees now, so it's 47 degrees. All right, that's a reference angle. Now where's sine positive? Here and here. So you're going to do 180, or you actually, one answer is 47 degrees, the other one's 180 minus 47, which is 133 degrees. So those are your two answers. Okay? Really pretty easy, right? Let's just do another one before we get into reciprocal functions. Let's do cosine of theta is equal to negative 0.658. All right, and how do you do this problem? Remember, we ignore the negative for now, so we're going to find a reference angle. So theta prime is equal to inverse cosine of 0.658. So if I do that, inverse cosine of 0.658, so inverse cosine of 0.658 is about 49 degrees. Okay, so let's write that down there. 49 degrees. And then now we're going to use that negative, and you're going to say, where's cosine negative? Well, it's negative in these two quadrants. So it's 180 minus 49, which is 131 degrees. Okay, and then 180 plus 49, which is 229 degrees. All right, so those are my two answers. Those are pretty easy, right? But that's how you deal with that negative. All right. So now let's do one with a reciprocal function. Okay, again, you guys should know all this stuff already, but it's okay. We're reviewing a little bit. Okay, so let's do cosecant of theta is equal to 1.246. Okay, just like you did, remember when I did this? I said secant of theta is equal to, let's say 2. And before you even started the problem, you went, oh, well, isn't that just cosine of theta is equal to 1/2? And then you did the problem from there. That's what you need to do with this kind of problem. You need to rewrite it first. So cosecant of theta is equal to 1.246. You need to write it as sine of theta is equal to 1 over 1.246. Okay? Because once you have that, then it's just like the problems we just did like 2 seconds ago. Okay, now you're going to say, oh, well, I need to do theta prime is inverse sine of that 1 over 1.246. So let's do that. Inverse sine of 1 divided by 1.246. Close parenthesis, and you get 53 degrees. So theta prime is 53 degrees. Okay? And then you're saying, well, we're sine positive. Well, here and here. So one is 53 degrees, and the other one's 180 minus 53, which is 127 degrees. Okay? That's how you do it. Now, this is what you don't want to do. Okay? And I've seen people do this where you get a problem like this, and they go, oh, they want to take, because this is a ratio. I taught you sine is y over r, and cosecant is r over y. So you're allowed to flip the ratio over. That's why I'm allowed to do this. Okay, what I've seen people do is they do like 1 over like this of, I don't know, and then they do 1.246, something like this. They do 1 over that. This is not how you do this kind of problem. That's if I give you cosecant of 38 degrees, then you do 1 over sine of 38. That's how you do that kind of problem. But this is the finding the angle, so you don't do that. That's really, really bad. It's you flip the ratio over and you just create a new problem. Okay? So let's just do one more here. Cotangent of theta is equal to 2.695. Let's make it negative. Cotangent of theta is equal to negative 2.695. So you're going to rewrite this as tangent theta. It's just so easy to do this. Negative 1 over 2.695. It's so easy to do. Okay, and then you're going to do inverse tangent. So theta equals inverse tangent of that. Positive, right? Okay, so let's do that. Inverse tangent of 1 divided by 2.695. And I get 20 degrees. Okay, so that's my reference angle. Oh, that's a reference angle. So reference angle is 20 degrees. And then where is tangent? Now remember, you got that negative there, and so tangent is negative in these two quadrants. So you're going to do 180 minus that, which is 160, and 360 minus that, which is 340. Okay, those are your two answers. All right, so that's my review, math fans. And here's the summary. Okay, it's easy to do it on your by hand, manually, but with a calculator, you have two kinds of problems. So I'm going to do this. So secant of 20 degrees and secant of theta equals negative 1.65. Those are the two kinds of problems that cause issues. And remember, this is 1 over cosine of 20 degrees. And this is cosine of theta equals negative 1 over 1.65. Okay, so this one you're just going to get an answer real quickly. This one you do inverse cosine of course, positive 1.65 to get your reference angle. And then you figure out where you're at, and you all students take calculus and you figure out your quadrants where you're in and subtract from 180 or 180 from it, or from 360, or the actual answer if you're in the first quadrant. Okay, so two kinds of problems. Make sure you know how to do both of them. All right, that's it, math fans. Have an outstanding day and do well on that test. Adios. Goodbye.